Hello, welcome to this level 4 video with my energetic system series. My name is Allie with A. Marie Speaks, and I want to offer this as sort of a regrounding, a circling back to the big picture before we dive in to the more focused, directed view of level 4, which will be the external toroidal service to others or service to self, as some people will be familiar with that. I'm very excited to turn our lens and to look at this next layer of us, us as a tool, us as this beautiful instrument, and to really start to uncover what energy exchanges are really all about. If you are new here, you can definitely listen to this video here. I'm going to attempt to keep it quick and just giving a sort of roundabout intro to the external toroidal. If you find this interesting, definitely be sure to check out the levels before. I highly recommend starting just at the level 1 with the foundations and working your way through up until here, level 4. For those of us who have been kind of doing the work and progressing here along, you will know we have already created a firm foundation of sovereignty, understanding about the one truth and connecting to it, and how we are energy beings, light bodies, this sort of triad of creation, as I like to look at it. Mind, body, and spirit complex, multidimensional, multifaceted beings who are here to do energy work. And what does that really mean? It can mean anything and everything. And that's why I've designed this talk on systems and looked at energy work as the work systems do. And really untying all the different ways that we look at energy and just saying that all things are energy. All forms of information are energy, and all forms of light are information. And so basically systems are transmuting, moving, and changing light and information, or light as information. And that knowledge and that great working, the metaphysical understandings of that, of course, have led to seeing the torus as a 3-part tool with the external toroidal donut shape around, the inner vortex, the inner core that it creates or that it is circling around with the 0 point in the middle, and this lemniscatic figure 8 ever passing flow that's created through the movement. So like I said, if all that kind of stuff interests you and you haven't seen the other layers, levels, definitely go and check those out. Links in the description or in the comments. But here for today, what I want to just tackle and breach the ground with is reaffirming the foundation that we're going to stand on as we examine, as we look at the external toroidal. So, just to reiterate, I'm not going to get too much into the torus as a tool and these the whole setup and everything, because I've done dense videos on them already, and I want to try to keep this video short. So just know that if you really would love to hear the reasonings of how I come up with this or why it works this way, there's details in previous videos. But this is just to recap here for everyone, right? This 3-part torus tool that we step into and that we use as a system has a basic structure and alignments that it works with. And it all is about balancing, give and take, and finding this homeostasis between, finding that area that's created between the push and the pull. And within what I'm calling an organic positive alignment, we have this external toroidal, which is positive overall. It collects and maintains a actionary, service-oriented flow that is positive. And it pushes up and out and around, and it draws in through your roots and brings everything in through the root center and into the core. And that external toroidal shape is maintained and built upon and anchored within the internal core, which is negatively aligned, and it has an opposite structure. Just like when we see batteries kind of flip-flopped in a toy or whatever, right? This is the creation of the repel and the push and the pull, of the opposites attracting and also pushing away from each other. And we have this negative system inside doing wonderful work, service to self on the inside, serving our universe, ourself as a whole, as a beautiful fractal of God's source, the creator. And that inner knowing, this drawing in the negative alignment of your inner core, ties in with the one truth, that there's a before and an after, that you are harnessed to it, that you're a part of the whole, that we all are, that we are all from the same before and going to the same after. This oneness is the essential truth. It is the law of one. It is the single initial connector that creates all of the building on top of it. And it creates and harnesses and holds this inner battery in the charging position, and it allows the external toroidal to flow positively out there, to want to offer out service, to be of action. And that aligns with sovereignty and your one truth as well. And that it creates this, what I like to call the eternal flame in there, and it boosts it and it burns with a purpose. You have a drive. Each one of us does. We have gifts, talents, callings, little affinities. These things are our service points to offer. They are our unique, chosen coordinates on a trip and back to God, basically, into our one little finite piece in the infinite of all. And yes, so that will fuel your service, right? And this is why they balance each other, and this is why you'll never use your battery, and you'll never actually exhaust yourself if you are seeking positive alignment, seeking your truth, because both of these systems, they keep each other going. And so you never have to tap into those base resources because they will keep the whole system functioning. Sort of like I like to use the banking model reference, right? All of your actions, all of your consumer-based sort of transactions, and all of the internal, your payroll, all the way that you pay your employees and your benefits and all that jazz, all of that will take care of itself and keep your entire bank in the black always, never needing to actually go to investors, never needing to tap into the funds in the vault, the money that's really there, the gold, whatever it is, the true things that have true worth. You'll never even need to tap into them, because the flow of business and service and exchanges keeps the whole of the model and service going. And when we live in a positive alignment like that, the Taurus tool works in that way. Conversely, unfortunately, in what is really promoted and pushed in a lot of manipulative kind of mind control ways, is the negative alignment. And within the negative alignment, we have a positively oriented system on the inside. And when we have this system, instead of drawing inwards, serving the self on the inside, when we have pushing out service to the external other on the inside, it creates this distortion and this, it shifts the entire poles of you, of your planet, and it puts you in an inversion. It puts the whole system on its head. And when we have positive aligning inside of us, it creates the echo of the negative drawing in of the external service. And that's what, we'll be here to talk about and be exploring in further episodes. is both service alignments. But yes, this causes a drawing in. And basically, the truth and the alignment that happens here is that you're never enough, and you don't have enough inside of here to keep going, and that you have to look at the external out there to get as much as you can in to hold and store and to charge up that battery. Because like I said, in the organic model, your battery's in a charging position and you never actually have to use that. But in the inverted version, you're totally limited, and your worth is determined by what's in that battery. And unfortunately, since the systems are malaligned, instead of being able to stay in the black in your banking model and all your processes equal each other out, you're not paying attention to that whatsoever. That's not even the truth that you're relying on. You don't even care about keeping that. You don't have the capacity to even understand how those two could balance each other out, because you believe that everything that you make has to be stored and saved. And that in itself creates this lack model, and it won't allow for certain exchanges with external service. It won't allow the drawing in naturally of resources of admiration and love and light. It doesn't accept that model in that way. And we'll get into that a little bit deeper as we're exploring service. But I just want to set the tone here at this intro video so that we can see the differences in the makeup, because the tools will function and offer totally different systems to be grown and work within this like garden or whatever, based on the soil, based on what you've put into it, what is these intentions that you've started the whole with. And that's why, I started with the internal systems, and I really spent a good time going into that, and I really hope people will dive into their own internal workings and do good work in their systems, honest seeking, honest observation, unconditional love fueling these assessments, and seeking true harmonious solutions for all the bits inside of you, so that you can really make the corrections, so that your battery and your inner core are operating in this organic positive alignment, so that you can really fuel yourself and fuel your service and do great work and never exhaust yourself. Always be overflowing. And it is possible, but we have to have the desire to do that. You have to be committed to exploring that one truth within yourself. Because at the end all be all, the makeup of the entire thing really, really, really rests and decides upon that one truth. Whether we decide to align with it, to live in it, explore it, enable it, and to be worthy of it no matter what, or to hide from it, to ignore it, to say that's not real, to make up excuses about it, or to put conditions on it in some kind of way. Oh, it's only if I do X, Y, and Z. Oh, it's only if I am a nice person. Or it's only if I do 5 good things and only 3 bad things in this example or whatever. Then I'm good, It really doesn't... it really does all depend on what we decide to tell ourselves, whether we're going for truth and our truth, or whether we're hiding from it. So if you're finding distortions and confusion, or you don't know where to start, or you're not really sure how to get out of these like sort of habitual habits, the best place is to always start within and to always seek what's true and why. To try not to hide from things, even uncomfortable, ugly things. Now, this video is getting to the point where I want to end it. I don't want to have this video very long, and I'm already at 15 minutes. So what I'd love to do here as just our foundation before we actually go into look into service orientation and the really nuanced exchange points and the functionality and the processes and all that, let's just look at how the internal and external work together in this sort of intermingling, interlocking, balanced way to create a negative or positive alignment. Now, rule number one, and I've talked about this already, the processes follow the lead, the laws and rules, the energetic atmosphere of the overall system polarity. Overall system polarity is determined by intention of the creator, of that conscious observer at all times. So whenever you choose to, you can switch your poles, so to speak, and realign your tool. All it takes is desire and intention to do so. Commitment to realigning and to course correcting and to always seeking within yourself that tuning forth truth, that ringing, that calling that you know is true to you. That's all it is, and that's all it takes. So I'm going to go back and forth here between positive and negative alignments. Basically, these are just the truths. These are the setting stones and the markers that all your external systems will follow suit with, because they're what you tell yourself, because they're what you have aligned this inner core working with. And again, all determines to whether you're aligning with this truth that you belong here, that you are purposeful, that we all are, that we are a fractal reflection of God, each and every bit of us. Every little ray of light and information is intelligent and alive with God, source energy. If you can understand that, if you can go towards that, if you can leave space open for that, then you will find always positive alignments. You will always find and hear the truth. If you choose to ignore it or to lie about it, to distort it or make excuses, justifications, or whatevers about it, just know that all systems, all processes will be excuse makers. They will put blinders on. They will hide things from you, and they will hide things from themselves, because that's the laws. That's the way energy works. It's like a ripple effect, sort of. So here's the examples of what I have here. So positive will see life and themselves as eternal and unconditional. Negative, conversely, will see themselves as limited, conditional. They have this impending ending, a finish line, a snuffing out. Positive systems derive their power from the connection to the one truth and to oneness. Negative systems, they view their connection to God or source as restricted, distorted, or blocked in some way or many ways. And therefore, they are pulling in a tainted energy source, basically, of power to run their systems. Positive truth has no ending. Everything is cyclic. It's a beautiful spiral. Because everything's made up of one, and everything comes from before. It will return to an after. Conversely, the negative systems and negative alignment will see a most definite ending. Everything will be sequential and linear, and it's very difficult to see a bigger picture. And in fact, it's really forced to have this very minuscule, pigeonholed picture so that you see only the straight line. And I'm sure many of us can remember from elementary school that little graphing activity where out of a bunch of straight lines you create the curve. And that is a beautiful metaphor, but that's also the understanding. And whenever you feel yourself pigeonholed in, just remember you've zoomed in and you're only looking the graph of this certain coordinates. You're not allowing and seeing all the lines that are really there and the curve that will be presented if you zoom out a bit. Positive will seek unity and harmony, and that is always emphasized. harmonious solutions, things that work for all bits, will always be the go-to, the sort of troubleshooting, the intentions behind the workarounds and the work-throughs, because trip-ups, mistakes, incorrectness always happens. Distortions are a part of this life. This is what it is, on many different levels and in many different ways. There's many different things of work to be happening, and mistakes and inaccuracies and such. When those happen, when we are encountering those, how we choose to move through them is what matters. And how you choose to move through them is defined by your intentions and by your truth. If you align with one truth and everything is as it should be, everything happens for a reason, even those shadowy pieces, even those hard parts, or the abusers, they were abused themselves. They have been traumatized. They have data set input to bring to the whole that is valuable. And when we look at the spectrum, and we want to look for the median equal ground in the middle, you have to take all the points in that spectrum into account. You can't say, oh, I'm not going to take this point way out there into account because I don't like that one. It's in the dark and I can hardly see it. I don't even want to know what it is. Just cut it out and, oh, let's just make it off here. That's going to sit over there, and you're not doing any good work by ignoring that. You're leaving it for later. And yeah, I won't get into too much shadow warnings work. Let's look at, conversely, instead of harmony and unity being emphasized in the system and in all intentions and in the work throughs and stuff, separateness will be emphasized. And within the separateness will be awards to those who create solutions. And instead of solutions being a harmonious solution with all points, like I said, it will be, like I said, they will knock off which ones their personal bias doesn't want included in the set, and they will present their data in a comfortable way that solves the solution, and ignore those couple of workers out there they don't like. And that will be a-okay to them. They'll see nothing wrong with that, in fact. That's just the way that the mind works when it's survival of the fittest, when it's me against the world, when everything that you're doing is only to confirm and solidify you have more, you have tomorrow, you have a next thing. When solutions are in a negative alignment and in a hierarchy, there's these pillars, these special badges and things that individuals get placed on by managers, by bosses, to create more directional hierarchy, a stronger flow, to re-solidify the whole hierarchy and to make others feel less than and to remember their place in the flow. In an organic positive alignment, all directionality is always allowed and encouraged, and there's never a forced directionality. When there's a forced directionality, it creates disturbance in the beautiful current in the lemniscatic flow, and it creates a flickering or a jolting in the lemniscatic flow, or perhaps it doesn't even look like a figure eight. But anyways, again, I'm getting off balance here. Positive service alignment will offer service out freely in the form of their energy, their time, their gifts, their talents. You don't need anything to make what you've got inside of you. Whatever ideas, callings forth, you don't need anything. Just like if I have an idea, if I want to write a story or a poem, if I want to share a workings or I have a download of some kind that I want to uncover, I don't have to spend a single dollar. I don't have to do anything material. I don't need to bring in anything in order to create that. That comes forth from me. And then I offer it out. And by offering it out freely, by putting it out there and allowing others to interact with it, allowing others to pick it up and use it as they may, what happens with the pushing out the positive service, right, is you release that out there. You release your creations out to be free on their own because you don't want to enslave them. You don't want to be micromanaging out there all the creations and the service you're offering out there. Instead, you offer it freely, and people take it as they should, like a buffet, as they want to. And what happens is, on that great release and on the 0 point where your Taurus is flipping from, positive push out into the negative drawing in, the drawing in is given naturally. People offer admiration because they enjoyed your service. People offer money because they enjoyed what they got from you or they find it worth. People offer love to you, a hug, support. They offer a home. They offer shelter to you because you've offered out something already to them, because you've given great service already, because you've given time, effort, energy to them. And then we have great drawing in. And then you're drawing in through your roots, through the natural way that organically we should draw in. Just like trees and plants bring in water and nutrients from the ground, from Mother Earth, from this great 3D external world, right? Your external toroidal is meant to do the great drawing in from the external world. And it should happen through the roots, as organically designed. Right? And this is why the positive flow works so well, and they balance each other out. Conversely, when we have the negative alignment and the drawing in is happening not through the roots, but through the crown, through the truth, through here, the higher centers first. What happens is this is reaffirming that you don't have enough, that you are not enough, that you can never be enough. And it's... Again, I'm kind of off the topic of bouncing back and forth, but not really. But as you can see, the pushing out of the roots that happens with the negative alignment and external service doesn't allow you to bring in what you need from the external. What you innately need, what you organically need, what your real whole soul needs on a multidimensional level can be drawn in through the roots. When we are pushing out through the roots, we're ignoring the organic flow here. We're saying we know better than it. We'll push ourselves onto the world. We'll make it happen. We'll do this. We'll do that. We'll get what we need to keep pushing forward from out there. And then we'll have enough to keep going. And that is a very misguided way to use your energy body. And obviously you can see how that causes exhaustion. It causes depletion. It doesn't create eternal flow. And this is basically like to reaffirm and realign with the truth, right? When we have one truth, we are abundant. We are always taken care of. We always have enough. We never lack. And so all motivation and intention will always come from this place that is not fearful of lacking. It is secure in its knowing. It is secure in its standing and grounded in the world. And it won't make choices through fear. It won't be confused or allowed to be led away from its own inner truth, because it knows its truth and it knows my purpose is to follow my truth. I'm not going to divert from that for anything or anybody. But that again comes from this alignment with the one truth. If you can't align with your truth and you don't think you're worth it, you're going to be led. All your systems are fueled by lack. Just naturally, you don't have enough. You are not eternal. You've told yourself already, you're limited. It's one life here. You've got a little battery. You've got a little time clock hourglass with a little sand falling through it, and that's all you've got. And if you want more, you've got to get it from out there, and you've got to put it in there. And yeah, so that sums it up pretty much there. I'm just going to go over my last, I'm at a half an hour. I'm going to go over my last little tidbits here. Positive alignment will not be concerned or dependent on others' energy, on what they're doing. Conversely, the negative system is absolutely reliant and dependent on others' energetic input. It won't work without energy input. And this is another big mind manipulation and inversion technique here, because we're in a negative setting. the matrix has this negative overlay over the whole entire thing. And so it tries to really reconfirm this false truth to you that everything is limited and that everything is reliant. Oh, how could any of this run without money? How could any of this do this without that? You know, that's a staple in the negative alignments for negative systems. We have to remember and pull back to the big picture and remember there are potentials, there are opportunities, there is a whole other way of functioning that we have put blinders on and forgot about. The graph holds a negative and positive side, right? We've kind of just zoomed onto the negative side of the graph and forgot all about the space available for creation over there. And half the reason this happens and is enabled and has gotten so bad is because, unfortunately, the positively aligned systems and positively aligned beings, they don't interfere with the negative. They're not going to infringe. They're going to let the negative run liar loops and do all that to themselves because they have the right to do that. That's their choice. That's their journey. God's decision to do that. They are that one point in the 1 through 100 count. I can't say that this 76 doesn't matter just because I'm number 7, you know what I mean? But, yeah. Positive systems, they don't see worth as externally based. It's not externally validated. Worth of something comes from within. It comes from truth that you feel. It has like a golden zing to it, worth. Negatively alignment and negative services, worth is completely based on an external source of some sort. Whether it's Bible verses that tell you what is worthy, or whether it is money that tells you, like your balance in your account, how much you have, whether it's even more than that, whether money isn't even it, it's that you have to have land and you have to have stocks and bonds and you've got to have X, Y, and Z, you've got to have a big job, all these things. All of those external markers of worth and success come and are in a negative alignment. So if you're finding those, if you're seeking those for yourself, you have to understand that you're in a negative alignment. And the way to correct that, of course, is to go within and to re-solidify and find your worth and really hone it and tone it for yourself. Believe in it. Anchor in it. Because worth here in the positively aligned truth, and I've talked about this a bit, but worth is bestowed to us at the point of conception. At the point of you being made. Whether you want to call conception the literal point, this sort of scientific sperm egg meat conception actual point, or you want to look at conception as the time of birth and that you're birthed into this world, any and all can fit, and they're all equally as valuable. But to just understand that the worth of the being is bestowed as a gift at the point of conception or birth. To be here, to be physically manifested, you have been given this gift. And it's a one size fits all. You know what I mean? It's not a metered sort of thing. It's just one, like I said about the kernel. It's like this golden kernel or coal that sits on your eternal flame, and that it can never go out. It can never be taken. It can never do. It just is. Conversely, negative alignment doesn't like that. They think that's a trashy idea. They don't believe in that whatsoever. They think that worth has to be earned, worth has to be proven, worth is totally externally based. The final anchors here, positive alignment values life. Positive alignment values organic design. It values natural setting. It values neutrality, homeostasis, harmony and balance. It treats others how it wants to be treated. It is the golden rule. Conversely, the negative alignment devalues individual life. Every system, as the hierarchy goes down the chain, so does the value of worth. Right? Unfortunately. So it devalues individuals. It treats others as subjects, usually, or as extensions of the self or of the system. It sees it as a cog in the wheel. It belittles others as a means of ensuring its own dependence, allegiance, and servitude. It has a really strong negative emotions tied into it to really enslave and entrap all individuals, from base level workers all the way up the chain to the CEO. And you can't help but feel bad for people who are trapped in a negative alignment, honestly, because they've enslaved themselves. And how sad that really is, right? How painful it really is to see and know this unlimited gift is inside of each one of us, and to watch others ignore it or want to stamp it out or make lies up and distortions around it. It feels bad. And this is, again, we'll get into later on about, overall morality and ethics and judgment and feelings and emotions. Because we can really get confused. And what the matrix and the negative overlay does is they understand the big picture, and they use emotions like carrots to steer people through and get them to do what they want. When we can really break away from emotions first and re-recognize what truth actually feels like, other emotions learn to tune themselves with your harmonious truth. It leads the way. It leads the song of you. And all your systems, all your processes will sing to that tune. They will align with it, So I really hope I'm encouraging people to check into the rest of the series if you haven't watched it yet, to get into that inner workings, to identify your inner core, and to seek whatever you're looking for and why. And to take stock of the emotions, but don't give the emotions the lead. Just allow the emotions to be other data points for now, and allow your truth to take the lead for a while, and that truth meter feeling, because that will guide you into how you can either do more cleansing and clearing to have a clearer lemniscatic flow between the two, if you are already trying to hold and maintain positive charge, or perhaps even stuck in a negative alignment, and this is going to help you shift that inner core and cause the polar shift, so to speak, within your planet, of you in the universe that is you, to create a positive external service flow. But I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you so much for joining me for this sort of intro to level 4. Know that in this week to come, I will be putting up some more kind of condensed, quick videos, one on external positive service and the other on external negative service, in the days to come. So I hope that you'll check back for those, and in the meantime, if you're looking for anything, you can always find me on amariespeaks.com or over on Telegram under amariespeaks. So thank you so much for listening and for your contribution to our beautiful collective. I appreciate your audience so much, and I will see you next time.